Hello and welcome to the video age. My name is Sean and I am your host on this podcast about things we are nostalgic for and things we are excited to be nostalgic for in the future. And this week we are wrapping up our April showers bring me dreams for hours with Singing in the Rain from 1952. And this week we have a guest with us again. We have my brother Josh, and in the release of the episodes, it'll seem like we were just here, but it was some time ago. Welcome back, Josh.
Well, thank you. It's great to be back, even though I've been stuck working in the video store this entire time, but it's good to be back here.
It's good. It's good to have you. Actually on mic versus in the back rooms. Um, so yeah, this week we have "Singing in the Rain," which is a classic. It is directed by Gene Kelly and Stanley Donen. They did a lot of features for MGM together, and this is uh, the one that I know the best, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time, let alone musicals. Um, I saw this at a very young age. I'm sure you probably did too, as well. I would assume, Josh.
Yeah,
What's your what?
ditto to everything you said. I think I our grandparents had this. I don't know if it was on Betamax, but definitely on VHS. And yeah, it was one of one of the first movies that really made a big impression on me. Like, throughout a person's life, you remember the movies that really, I guess, imprint on you at a young age, and this is one of them.
Yeah. This I feel like I saw this on like a rainy day when I was sick. And so, like, that just burned into my brain, forever. This movie. It's like, oh, it's the perfect movie. It's like you can't be sad. You can't feel you can't feel bad when you watch this. It's so it's so happy and so damn fantastical too.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just all around.
And like I said, so this came out in 1952, was directed by Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly, written by Betty Comden and Adolph Green, and um, the music was created by I think it was Arthur Freed. Uh, IMDb. I'm scrolling. There's a lot of people. Holy crap. Yep, because you have all the musical performers and dancers. And oh my God, there's, yes, producers Arthur Freed and Roger Eden's composer. The composer was Lenny Hayton. And um, who else was I going to mention? I was going to mention the main cast. We have Gene Kelly, uh, Donald O'Connor, and Debbie Reynolds as the main cast, and then we have Jean Hagen as Lena Lamont, uh, Gene Kelly's leading lady. Gene Kelly is Don Lockwood. Donald O'Connor is Cosmo Brown, and Debbie Reynolds plays Kathy Selden in this movie, and they are all fantastic. It's it's an amazing cast, and the supporting characters are great as well.
Yeah, this
Uh,
is like you said, the cast top to bottom in this is stellar, and they just do a really good job of kind of capturing that whole Hollywood motif.
well, yeah, they are capturing early Hollywood, the silent era, right before the talking pictures became the big thing. They are uh, Gene Kelly and Gene Hagen are stars of the silent era. What is it? Mammoth Productions,
Monumental pictures, I think.
Monumental Pictures, and they are stars of the silent film era. And the talkies are becoming a big thing, and they're going to have to adapt. And yeah, it is great because it is kind of nearly autobiographical of Gene Kelly's life, because he was, brought up to sing and dance, and his older brother um, sung and danced as well. And Gene was a little quicker study because he got to, learn from his brother and from the other things. And they were kind of, they would watch the shows that would come into town, and Gene would steal the steps, and then they would dance for money, and then that's how they kind of made their way up. And that's kind of what Gene and Donald O'Connor's characters do, kind of mirroring that.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun to see it play out.
So let's just hop right into this. The Well, actually, before we hop right into it, I'm gonna do some shameless shilling. Psych, you thought I was just gonna hop into the movie right away. Nope, I'm gonna push the Patreon. Go to our Patreon, thevideoage.com. That seems confusing because I told you go to Patreon, but it's thevideoage.com. It just redirects you. That's how websites work sometimes. Um, you will be taken to thevideoage.com where we have extra episodes. I am releasing some extra dreamy episodes for this series. I am releasing Akira Kurosawa's Dreams, which is a feature that was produced, was helped released by Martin Scorsese and George Lucas because he couldn't get financing. So they helped secure financing, and Martin Scorsese is in a fucking Akira Kurosawa movie, and it's so goddamn weird. And I talk about that. Spoilers, I haven't recorded that episode yet, but I'm going to talk about it in the future, but it's going to be on the Patreon. And I am also going to talk about the movie The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie, a Louis Buñuel film, which is about a dinner party where a bunch of Parisians talk about their dreams, and it's weird and freaking bizarre, and it's so crazy. But those will be on our Patreon. So go to thevideoage.com. You can sign up for free and just see all the extra things I put out there. Or for $5 a month, you can join and get those extra episodes and early access to coming episodes. That's it for the shilling. Now, let's get to the movie.
Let's get to the movie.
So, Singing in the Rain, it starts out with just almost like the new movie trailers start out with a little intro. It's the full three cast singing a little bit in the rain right out the gate. So this is what the movie is. They're singing in the rain, and now we're gonna get to the real movie.
Yeah,
But they just
you've got the three umbrellas and they all turn around and you could see your three top billed stars and they're doing a bit of the song and it's the iconic, they're wearing yellow and it's raining everywhere and that's how it starts. So there's no confusion.
yeah, it's and it is funny. I watched a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and the I think the people who did the story, they're like, well, it's the picture was called Singing in the Rain, so we figured at some point there would be singing and rain. Then Gene Kelly was talking about doing the Singing in the Rain number. He's like, well, just had a street on the back lot and we needed rain, and I was going to sing and dance. So I was, singing and dancing in the rain. It's like, okay, all right, everybody, You're clever. We get it. And singing and dancing in the rain. Do, do, do. So we start out at the premiere of the Royal Rascal, which is a amazing to do where we get a lot of people introduced very quickly, including a teenage Rita Moreno as Zelda Zanders, who later in the movie, spoilers, tells Lena about the little romance going on between Kathy and Don in the future. But that hasn't happened yet. But we are at the premiere and we are being introduced, and we quickly get a limo pulling up, and everybody starts to cheer, but then they realize it's just Cosmo Brown, Donald O'Connor, the pianist accompaniment number two to Don Lockwood. He's a number one guy.
And there's some really funny shots in that. It's the it's the typical kind of just over the top reaction to superstars on the red carpet. It kind of like Beatles era type stuff. There's people passing out in the crowd and just screaming full throat, and yeah, and then the next limo pulls up and everyone they're just kind of excited, and then Cosmo steps out and they're just kind of like, oh, all right.
Uh, and then we get Don Lockwood and Lena Lamont, the stars of the feature, and everybody, like you said, loses their dang minds over these two. They are the beautiful Hollywood couple. They are dressed in white and they look fantastic. And the lady introducing everybody on the red carpet, it's like, please, Don, please tell us your whole story in a quick 10-15 minute flashback
At this
before the movie.
at this giant movie premiere, just and I think this is like a good. I don't remember seeing anything like this. This is a great way to just jump right into it and introduce these characters. It's kind of campy and hokey, I guess, that it's at a movie premiere, but you get to see who everybody is, and there's a reason why we're going into the backstory, and it's pretty fun. And I just gotta say, the way that they have these two. Uh, Don Lockwood and Lena Lamont all decked out and like they're all wearing white. It's amazing. This is like to me this is movie magic right here in cinema. This is the iconic shots of old Hollywood right here for me.
Oh yeah, and that's what they were really trying to evoke, because that's what they were saying. They like when they were preparing this, they were talking to all the old studio people because they were trying to get stuff from 30, 40 years in the past, and trying to get that, and reading all sorts of newspapers, talking to all the people who worked, and getting wardrobe and things from that era, and just going ham on it. And yeah, when they are there, the introduction is great, because he is using very beautiful erudite words to describe his noble upbringing, and then you quickly see that he is dancing for pennies in a pool hall. And like everything he is saying is technically true. He was raised dancing, and he is performing and making money, but it's all he's working in vaudeville halls doing silly routines where they are fake playing fiddles and doing pratfalls and doing amazing dance routines.
Yeah, just talking about him and Cosmo coming up, and my parents sent us to the finest performing arts schools, and we used to perform for mom and dad, society friends, and that then it cuts to a couple little scamps just in a smoky pool hall getting thrown out.
Yeah, it's perfect. They're just they're sneaking into movies and they're running around just, and then they eventually, kind of are around long enough, and uh Don is performing as a stunt performer, and he's, doing all the kind of shitty jobs where it's like, all right, you're gonna get in this plane and drive straight into a building. Okay. All right, you're gonna hop on this motorcycle and drive off this cliff right in front of you. Okay. And then Tom Cruise saw this movie and he's like, hey, I'm gonna save movies.
I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life.
Thank you, Gene Kelly. You you saved movies? I don't know. Um, but yeah, he is
and
this.
and I really like the just the little musical numbers that are thrown into this whole montage throughout the years of them coming up and Gene Kelly kind of basically fabricating the whole thing, but we get to peek behind the curtain and see what they're actually doing, which is not probably not the direct line to success
Yeah.
that they thought, but it's really fun and it kind of it start to me it starts off on the right foot and really showcases what this movie is going to be about.
Yeah, the long meandering way they made their success, it is wonderful. And Don, wraps this all up. A he was in a cowboy feature, and well, he was kind of working the set of a cowboy feature, and he got to be the performer, and then that launched him. And then he eventually, got noticed by RF, the head of the studio, and that's when he is, talking to Lena for the first time, and she gives him the cold shoulder. But then as soon as he gets picked up for the features, she warms up and he's like, oh, no, 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 dear, I think I'm good. And this whole time when he's talking, Lena doesn't say a word, and he, quickly whisks her inside. And then we think we do we see the feature? Do we see the Yeah, we just see the end of the, oh, what the heck is this called? The
Oh,
Rascal.
the Royal Rascal.
Yeah, the Royal Rascal. Yeah, we just see the end of the Royal Rascal, and then we hear Lena's voice, and this is just Gene Hagen. She is fucking amazing with this. I can't stand him.
Oh my God. Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, they both come out on stage and say, "Oh, thank you." And Don does all the talking and that's what she says. She's like, well, why does he get to do all the talking? And is there something wrong with the way I talk? And
What, am I stupid or something?
she has the most shrill, just high-pitched, I don't know, kind of like nails on a chalkboard type of voice. And it's they do a good job in these opening sequences of just kind of really zooming in on Gene Kelly slash Don Lockwood's face, and just as the kids would say, the Riz is just off the charts with this guy. The buttery voice, the way he looks down the barrel of the camera, it's like he's
Oh yeah.
talking to you. And
He
yeah, it was, and the line they kept repeating when they kept going back to all the their their rough upbringing that he was kind of glossing over. That's one of my favorite lines in the whole thing, says dignity, always dignity.
yes, yes.
Which, if
Then
you watch the movie and there's absolutely nothing dignified about any of their background. Where they are
I
now, they don't have to get their hands dirty, but man, coming up in the business was rough.
yes, the I mean, Cosmo's number, make 'em laugh, is all about no dignity at all. Um, but yes, dignity, always dignity. That is great. And Lena is totally caught up in the studio and gossip fabrication of their relationship, and she is bought in hook line and sinker as well that they're a couple, despite Don's persistence that they are not. And they, as they're leaving the theater, they go in separate cars so the crowds aren't, mobbing everybody. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And Don and Cosmo leave, and they're in Cosmo's car, which of course gets a flat tire. It's like, hey, it hasn't given me trouble for nearly 6 hours. And Don is quickly mobbed on the street like the Beatles, and his fans start tearing apart his suit, and he takes off and he jumps onto a streetcar and into the back seat of Kathy Selden's car, who doesn't quite recognize who he is right away because he literally fell in her car. And she and stops in front of a police officer. It's like, please, please help me. This man jumped in my car. Well, you're the luckiest lady in town. That's Don Lockwood. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Don Lockwood.
Don Lockwood.
Don Lockwood. And she's like, oh, I think I've seen one of your features one time. One of my features one time.
Yeah, he's supposed to be that preeminent movie star of his era, and it's like, geez, come on, lady.
Oh, and I did go past one of my favorite. Well, I mean, there's so many lines in this, but when Don is being mobbed, he's like, "Hey, Kaz, do something. Call me a cab." Okay, you're a cab.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
one of my favorite lines. Well, there's gonna be a lot, but I think it's when they kind of zoomed in on the people in the teenagers in the crowd when they were watching the movie. I think it was one of the girls that saw Lena Lamont on screen, and it's just such a ridiculous line. And the fact that they worked it into a movie in 1952 kind of blows my mind. She says, "She's so refined, I think I'll kill myself." That just blew my mind.
uh, that's oh my god. Yeah, this.
And it was just in passing. They didn't, they stayed on it for that beat and then moved on like nothing happened. I was like, wow, that was fun.
Yeah, it is wild that this movie came out so long ago, and it I'll be honest, there is a couple problematic parts in this movie. Not terrible, like it makes the movie unwatchable, but it's like
Yeah.
this movie came out so long ago and it is still, you still watch it and you feel fine with it. You feel good with it. You don't, it's like, oh shit, it seems like this was a good movie. And obviously, people were, it seems like Gene Kelly was, incredibly rigorous and kind of hard to work with, but also like if you did the work, you got the respect and he kept working with you. Um, but yeah, what can I say? I like this movie. Hey,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, times change, ideas change, people's
yeah,
change. So I mean, yeah. And that's if you take it at face value as a sign of the times, that's one of the good and bad things, at least to me, for media, is you get a snapshot of what the time was like.
but I do like this, like Debbie Reynolds, as Kathy, is awesome, and I mean, like her kid, was a pretty cool lady too. Uh,
Yeah. Okay, so I have to have a little sidetrack on this one. So I probably watched this around the same time that I watched Return of the Jedi. For though I don't know how you wouldn't know, but yeah, Debbie Reynolds in this is Carrie Fisher's mother. And I didn't know that until I was like in my 20s, I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so I watched this around the same time when I was probably like in kindergarten or so, maybe 5, 6, 7 years old. This and Return of the Jedi pretty much nonstop. And I had a pretty big crush on Debbie Reynolds from this. She was super young in this, and then obviously had a crush on Carrie Fisher as well, being a young lad and seeing Return of all the Star Wars movies, and yeah, and then find out as a young adult is like, wow, that's mom and daughter.
yeah,
It's just really awesome. And the performance that she gave in this as a 19-year-old is pretty phenomenal.
yeah. She was a gymnast. She wasn't a dancer, so uh she was like, yeah, she because one of the things I watched, she was talking, she's like, yeah, I was a gymnast and I was acting, but I had not danced before, and they did 3 months of intense rehearsals before they started. But it's like, yeah, I'm, with Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor, who are dancers and singers, and she's like, I'm a singer and an actor and a gymnast, but yeah, I'm not that. So
Yeah.
she's
And
just,
and that's amazing too, is she wasn't outshined by them at all, I don't think, in this. And that's another thing too. There have been, like, up till this point in the movie where we're at in talking about it, there's been a couple kind of partial musical numbers, but just the choreography and the footwork so far, it just in those sequences has just been amazing.
oh yeah, just the stopping on the street with the flat tire, and then getting mobbed, and then he gets chased across the street, and then he runs, I think, up the car and onto the cable car, and then he jumps into the car. That's amazing choreography, and that's Gene Kelly, and then you transfer to a stunt person when they jump off the cable car, and then you transfer back to Gene Kelly. It's like, it's a lot of moving parts, and it looks great. And the thing Gene Kelly always said, it's like, when you're dancing, you want to make it look like it's the easiest thing in the world. You want everybody to look like, it's like, you want everybody to be able to go like, oh, I could do that. But it's like, it's incredibly complicated. But if anybody if anybody thinks what you're doing is complicated, you failed as a dancer. It's like, oh wow, okay. So it's like, it should look effortless. And it does. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, it's in the chemistry that they have, on the car ride to the next stop,
Oh,
Kathy brings him to his destination, I guess,
is
and
because he's gonna go to his tailor, I think, because he's gonna get his suit fixed. He's gotta
yeah,
get a new jacket.
his suit is all torn apart, and she's kind of, giving him the business, I guess, for lack of a better term, that, he's a big Hollywood actor. She's never heard of him, and then he kind of flips it back onto her as like, oh, who are you? I'm sure you're some big deal, huh?
And yeah, it's the back and forth is so great, because he's kind of warming to her, and then she's, yeah, I haven't seen any of your pictures, and it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you're so and so. Oh, you're an actress. What are you in? Oh, nothing. Okay, then. And so he leaves, and while he's leaving, he slams the door to her car and walks off, and his jacket was caught, and it completely tears the rest of the way, and she gets a great laugh, and she drives off to her destination. And then we find that he goes to a party, and RF, the head of the studio, is holding a party to celebrate the release of their movie. And he's gonna have a special presentation, and some dancing girls come out, and one of them jumps out of the cake. And who is it other than Kathy? And who is right there? Well, it's Don Lockwood, and he sees it. And they do a little dance number, and Don manages to speak to her. And RF also does a special presentation of a talking picture with the weirdest man in the world doing the "this is a talking picture. Notice that in the picture I am talking and my lips are synchronized to the picture of me talking." It is so bizarre and wonderful and great.
Yeah, it's really it's so weird in a movie that most everything is kind of fluffs up the whole Hollywood, old Hollywood mystique, I guess. It makes everything look fancy. He just, to me, it's reminiscent of Vincent Price, but even, Vincent Price had a certain kind of charisma to him, but this guy's just weird.
Yeah. Um, I forget, they in the feature I watched, Debbie Reynolds did say who the guy was, but I can't remember. But yeah, he's a strange looking man, but it's like, talkies are gonna be a thing. They're doing the jazz singer. It's like, that'll never land. And Kathy is confronted by Don, who is kind of picking at her a little bit. And Lena is there, and Kathy's like, you know what? I'm gonna throw a cake in your face. And well, Don ducks, and it hits Lena, and she is nonplussed about that. And Kathy takes off, and Don chases after her, but he's too late, and she's gone. And we find out later that she was fired. Um, uh, yeah, and so we get Don and oh my god, my brain. Jesus. We get Don and Cosmo walking through the sets, and they're talking about how upset Don is about not being able to find Kathy because she got fired after the incident at the party, and they have been unsuccessful, and Don is down. And this is where we get my favorite number from Cosmo, make him laugh, because he's down, and he's like, what I always said, make him laugh. And it is a wonderful, just rip roaring, just nonstop uh assault of the senses, of hilarity. We have acrobatic stunts, some ridiculous, I don't know what the hell you would call dummy work, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
a strange thing.
it's like you said, it's a lot of fun, and I'm I'm glad that this is in the movie because Donald O'Connor's a he's a really good sidekick, and he's a lot of fun, but this really catapults him into I don't even know. It's just it's a really amazing scene, and it's so funny on so many different levels, and the physical humor, and I guess the range and depth of performance is it yeah, it's awesome. If you haven't seen it before, you got to watch it, if not for just this scene.
Yeah, this is an exceptional number. I mean, you could pull up any of the numbers. They are great. Just watching these amazing uh amazingly choreographed. Like the dance is choreographed perfectly, but also the camera movements are choreographed as well, because for a long time, Gene Kelly was talking about, they would film like if a dancer is moving from left to right, a lot of the times they used to move the camera with the dancer from left to right. And he was just like, if you do that, there's no motion, because it's like cars traveling at 60 miles an hour next to each other. It's nothing's happening. You need to, create motion, and you need to be able to see the whole thing, because what they used to do and what they do now is, they shoot in parts. They don't shoot the whole take. So Gene Kelly would do his whole dance and then do another take, instead of, doing this 30 seconds of the scene from this angle, and then you move, reblock, and then you do the next 30 seconds or the same 30 seconds at a different angle. It's like, no, we do the full routine at this angle, then we do the full routine at this angle. So it sounds like grueling work for some of the scenes with all the blocking and everything. It's just like, holy crap, this is insane what you're doing, but god damn, it looks beautiful, and it tells a story too. It's crazy that they're telling the story through dance, and it's beautiful. And Make 'em Laugh is fucking hilarious, and the the running up the wall and the backflips, I love those.
Yeah, I mean, seeing this as a kid I don't know, made me want to do those things that he does. That's kind of like, I mean, let's be real. If you watch this as a kid, I think pretty much everybody wanted to be like Gene Kelly, but for me, it was more the Donald O'Connor character.
Oh yeah, 100%. But we're going to the filming of the Dueling Cavalier, and we see Lena right away with her wig, and she's in beautiful Victorian dress, and she's like, "What kind of dope wore a wig like this?" Everyone did, Lena. Then everyone was a dope. She is. I love her so much. She is so
Yeah.
villainous and
Her
evil.
performance is so great. So what they decided at that at that party earlier with the talking picture is like, it kind of everybody at the party was like, "Yeah, this is an abomination, the talking picture. It'll never go over." But then they kind of see
The,
that am I jumping ahead?
nope, no, you're good. I was gonna say the jazz singer.
But yeah, then they talk about the jazz singer and it'll never work. And then they're in the process of filming this scene and they're still it's still the standard of the time is the silent movie. They're performing on set, but they
Mm-hmm.
they're just gonna put music over it and the title this I guess not subtitles but the title cards, and they're doing their performance. And yeah, they're you want to get into what they're actually saying during their while they're
Oh
performing
yeah,
the scene.
yeah, because they yeah, Don does not like Lena, and he is, calling her a viper and a snake, and it's like, and she's like, well, you should be spending your time with me, not wasting it looking around town for that girl I got fired. What? You got her fired? Well, yeah, because you liked her. And she just kind of divulges that, she's the one who got her fired, and it was because he liked her. And she's like, yeah, I don't know where she is, but they're, getting into it here, and it's like, oh, okay, well then, cool. um and then
Yeah, and it's a very I don't know if it's romantic, but it's like the over the top. She's sitting there and he's kissing her hand, and it's like kissing up her arm until he kisses her face, but at the same time he's saying all these they're saying terrible things to each other, and and it's really funny like what they can actually get away with since it's not a talking picture.
Yeah. And then the next scene is the studio head RF. He comes in, he's like, uh, boys, the jazz singer, it's making too much money. Everybody's doing it. We the theaters they're setting up for talkies. We have to make talking pictures now. And everybody's like, okay, why are you so upset? It's gonna be easy. It's like, you're right. It's gonna be fine. And then we hear Lena's voice, and everybody stops and stares, and she's what? And it's just a beautiful cut. And then we have an amazing montage of musicals like just different talkies, different musical numbers, very quick musical montage that is showing all the talkies that are happening. And we end with the Beautiful Girls song.
It's to me this is such a weird one, but yeah.
What, the Beautiful Girls song with the full like the fashion show in it
I
too.
I mean, to me, that that's the fashion shows where the women are just standing there like frozen, but you can tell they're not because there's a little bit of movement. It is a sight to behold. It's so strange and
Oh,
awesome and funny.
oh yeah, it is. This movie is that's I think that's what surprised me with this movie as a kid, because musicals like a, the Sound of Music, like, very stilted, like, and now here's musical number and just like, but that has comedy in it too. But I mean, I always saw musicals as I just friggin' boring, and then this is so out and out funny
Yeah.
at like nearly every turn, and it's like, oh my, what, they can be this funny. And then I saw so many funny musicals. It's like, oh my god, there's, yeah, musicals should be funny, otherwise people are going to be falling asleep, because it's like, okay, come on, do something. um
And just the way, the musical number is goofy and weird, and and like towards, I don't know, the three-quarter mark of the number, that where they have like the different women on a white backdrop wearing all kinds of just outlandish outfits, and the way he speaks over the top, and so
be ready for the party with this new, yeah, like one of the garments is like ape lined,
yeah,
fur lined.
dashed
Yeah,
with
just
monkey fur.
like, all right, yeah, we don't care about anything. But it is, it is supposed to be over the top and ridiculous. But is this scene is RF is kind of scouting for new people, and he's like, yeah, the producer of this film or this feature is like, oh yeah, that girl is really good. And they're talking, of course, about Kathy. And RF, being kind of the disconnected studio head he is like, oh yeah, she's perfect. I love her. And RF is a great he's a great guy, but also is very easily pushed around, because at one point Gene Kelly goes, "You're the studio head. You should make the decision." And he just goes, "I am the studio head. I will make the decision." And just but he's like, "Ah yeah, she's great." And then Don shows up, and that's Kathy. Lena got her fired. It's like, well, I can't have her on the lot. Yeah, this is where Gene says, "You're the studio head. You should be able to make this decision." He's like, "You're right. I should be able to make this decision."
Yeah,
And
if only studio heads were actually like RF in the real world, that'd be great.
no, now there's 70 of them, and They
And
never all meet in the same room as a power play.
the actor that plays him is fantastic in that role too.
And he died a year after this movie came out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I just looked. I'm like, oh my god, this guy, he's great. I mean, he was in a bunch of stuff. Well, only 38 features, but I mean, like I said, he was in a bunch of stuff. The Day the Earth Stood Still, Winchester 73, 12 O'Clock High, several other movies. I'm not gonna go further in IMDb because it didn't want to load. So there, you got that. But RF has agreed to kind of secretly hire Kathy, um, and just not tell Lena. Um, and this is where we get Kathy and Don flirting, and Kathy quickly reveals that she has seen more than one of his features, and she often reads the fan magazines. Well, she buys 4 or 5 a month, and she's probably seen 8 or 9 of his features. Those numbers are a little bit different.
Yeah, she's a fan. And yeah, this is and yeah, they kind of talk out on the back lot, I think, and then they're kind of I guess soft flirting a little bit, and then they kind of just wander into a sound stage, and then the magic happens.
Well, I love this too because Don's like, they're talking, and he kind of starts to clam up, and she's like, what's the deal? It's like, I can't express myself properly here. And she's like, how could you properly express yourself? He's like, hold on a second, let me properly light and stage a stage and do a dance and song number for you real quick. Oh, okay, you can't say it, but you can dance it. All right,
Yeah.
calm down.
Well, basically make out in song form.
Yes, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this I really like this song. Uh what's it called? I
Yep.
I'm afraid I'm getting it mixed up with one of the other songs in the movie, but I think is it Would You?
I think so. I'm bad with names.
But but anyway, they're kind of she's and then she's saying, I could never be in the movie or whatever, and he's saying, well, we just use a little bit of movie magic, and then he turns up the lights, the stage lights, and they get like I don't know, kind of lights on stands, turn on the fog machine, turn on a fan. They have projection of like a beautiful sunset with some pinks and lavenders in there, and then what do you know? It's like they're in their own little movie. And
Mm-hmm.
the way that they light up their faces with the actual lights for the film that we're watching, it and really highlight their eyes. That's really and they're really yeah, you can tell that this is the part where they fall in love.
Yeah, and they're using. So I mean, I wouldn't know this, but they're using period accurate lighting, and so they scrounged the studios for all the old lights and stuff for all these scenes that are the like behind the scenesy type scenes. So
That's awesome.
they're using all sorts of old lights. Like, holy crap, you friggin' nerds! But that is, of course, why this movie also, people in the biz still love this movie, because like that's also another reason why I liked it, because I am that person. It's like, I love that movie. Can you tell me every second of how you made it? It's like, but don't you want to talk about the movie? No, how'd you make it? How'd you do this? How do you I want to see everything else. What about the stars? Well, can I talk to the second assistant director? What? Why do you want to
And
talk to them?
I don't know. I think it's awesome when nerds nerd out and you know, do the things that they want to do to make the story awesome. And that's just another layer. I didn't know that until you said that. And that's awesome. That's another layer of what makes this movie, even though it, was made in 1952 and takes place in the late 30s, that, it's you can still watch it today and it still hits.
Yeah. And so they have their song flirtation, and they are falling in love. And since we are going to be doing talkies, we got to go to the diction coach.
So what I love in between the segue of the big, romantic number is there's, of course, the older movies, there's the spinning newspaper, and
Mm-hmm.
they have the sensational high headline or kind of tagline, big bonanza for diction coaches.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome. They do that in a few segments in here, just have the spinning newspaper, and I think it's funny because it's over dramatic and just goofy.
uh Holy cow, I am an old man, I have to go pee. um I will
Perfect.
be right back.
Me too, me too.
Woohoo. Okay. uh so we are at the diction coach, and Moses supposes his toes are roses. That is the number we're going to get in a second. Lena is at her uh, diction coach, which is just very quick, little beautiful scene. Uh,
Oh my God. This
I
this like
I
the
can't stand him.
just the ignorantly just kind of stuck in her ways. So basically she sounds like I don't know, for lack of a better term, just kind of a dummy when she talks. She doesn't enunciate, and that's what this whole scene is about. They have this kind of classic theater diction coach, and I can't stand him. And she's very proper, and the costumes in this sequence are awesome as well. But anyway, yeah, she's trying to teach Lena, who's just kind of, I guess, gotten by on her performances so far and a lot of her looks in Hollywood, but now that she has to have her voice out there, it's kind of it's tough sledding, I guess. And so yeah, she the diction coach comes in and says, and you say, I can't stand him. And then Lena
I
pipes in with
can't. I can't stand him. I can't stand him. I can't stand him.
and no matter how many repetitions she gets in, she and to be fair to her, she's kind of like, well, I've gone this far in Hollywood. It's why can't I just do my own thing?
Yeah, why can't I just talk? Why can't I just talk? Um, and yes, the her diction coach is Kathleen Freeman, who was Sister Mary Stigmata from the Blues Brothers. The the terrible nun.
Oh, she just beats the hell out of
Yes,
them
yes,
when they go
yes.
back to the convent.
Yeah, just son of a bitch, motherfucker. Yeah, just
Uh,
yes. That's
and
who the diction
that's
coach is.
that's such a terrific scene in that movie too.
Oh god, yeah, just oh my god, yeah. And I had no recollection that those were connected
Oh, that's awesome.
until this watch, because in one of the behind the scenes things, she was featured a lot, and it's like, oh damn, it's like, okay, I do remember her. But yeah, now we go to um Don and Cosmo at the diction coach, and this was Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor's first day filming.
Oh wow.
And yeah, that's and I love this number because yeah, they're doing diction exercises, and when Cosmo comes in, he quickly distracts the diction coach. He's like, oh wow, that was such a good exercise, could you read this one too? And the diction coach is like, oh, okay. And then of course Cosmo stands behind him and starts making faces, and they
Oh,
eventually, it's
just all the
great.
little bits that Donald O'Connor does in this. It's like because the addiction coach is pointing and gesturing with his hands, and Cosmo's like watching every move he makes, and his eyes are going back and forth, and he's just playing off of the coach and then going to Don Lockwood, just back and forth. He's kind of just this go-between for this scene, and it's hilarious.
And then yeah, they start the number. Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. Moses supposes his toes are roses. And it's just, it's wordplay exercise, and then they're dancing and just being ridiculous, and then they destroy the office. And it's it's a great number. I love it.
Yeah, this is a song that just gets stuck in my head of just randomly, throughout life. Anytime I see the word or hear the word erroneous or erroneously, this comes right in as it should. So,
All right.
and that's, you know, something that you could easily get lost in this movie is there's a lot of kind of goofy numbers like this one, but the dance steps and the choreography in this are just mind-blowing.
Oh yeah, it's just what they do together. And it was nice. Donald O'Connor talked about this scene, and also like um his make him laugh scene. It's like they uh found things specifically for him to do, like with his training, like because Donald O'Connor came up as a child actor and did all sorts of stuff like before he did this as a kid, and then they just got him the stuff to highlight what he could do. And he's like, he was very thankful for that, and he talked about this day, it's his first day on set, and he has specific things he can do, and he's working with Gene, and he's like, I was trying to keep up with him, and he was great and helped me through it. And it's like, no, it shows, it's great.
You got two guys tap dancing on a desk in this scene, and it's amazing.
Yeah. And then we're going to the early preview of the Dueling Cavalier. This is something they have in big markets. I think they have them in Chicago and New York and Los Angeles. They have preview screenings. And this is Monument Pictures, big talkie. Then it's Lockwood and Lamont uh preview screening for the Dueling Cavalier. And oh boy, the audience is in for it. I think we skipped over. Did I skip over a bunch of the filming?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
the
we did.
recording session.
Yeah, this yeah, with the poor director losing his mind. Yes.
Oh, the director. So they're
God, what is it?
basically reshooting the what do they call it? The Dancing Cavalier or something.
So yeah, it starts out as the Dueling Cavalier, and then becomes the Dancing Cavalier. Um, so yeah, they do a lot of recording, and the people who from the silent era weren't very good with it. And it's a lot of headaches. And at the premiere, the sound is terrible. There's terrible sound from pearls. And all the comedic beats are great, because when Don Lockwood enters, he enters grandly, and he drops his cane, which you just hear hit the ground, and just it's a dull, hollow sound. And
Yeah, there's a lot of great just sound gags in this one because Yeah, it's being a new technology at the time. They didn't quite know where to place the microphones, and yeah, like Sean said, it she's messing with her pearls during the scene, and it just sounds like, you know, rocks rolling around on the roof of your car, and yeah, it's pretty humorous.
And the audience from the preview is just like, I don't care if I ever see another Lamont Lockwood feature. It's like, oh God, we're doomed. And so Cosmo, Kathy, and Don go and they talk, and they're at Don's house. The fact that Gene Kelly's character is Don Lockwood and Donald O'Connor is Cosmo just keeps messing with my brain when I try to say them, and I can't get either of their names right out of my head the first time. But the three of them are at Don's mansion.
That's what. So this scene, yeah, it's so they come in through a window. You can see it's raining outside, and they're all sitting at the table. So mind you, this is after a premiere of an early premiere of a movie. So I'm assuming it's fairly late at night after they schmoozed and everything afterwards, or just hightailed it out of there because it didn't go great.
Yeah.
It's late at night, and they're all having sandwiches and milk.
Yep. Yep. I think that was probably like studio code stuff. It's like, yeah,
I love it.
can't you can't be drinking. That would imply that you're gonna have the sex word. Why would what? Adults can just have a drink. What? Okay, weirdos.
Only
Um,
milk.
but they are talking and they eventually break the idea. It's like, holy crap, Don, you and Cosmo used to sing and dance all the damn time, and you love to do that. Why not make the movie into a musical? Like, oh my God, we've figured it out. It's perfect. And then they're like, all right, well, we figured it out. Today is our day, March 23rd. Well, actually, Don, March 24th is our day because we've talked the whole night through. Good morning. Good morning. Uh, and yeah, this is this is a great song. And a number it just they go through the whole house singing about good morning. We've talked the whole night through, and it's a wonderful little number. And yeah, I love this bit, and it is great, and they're happy, and they fall down onto the couch that they just walked over on, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be great. And then they go, oh no, Lena's voice. She can't sing, she can't dance, she can't act. She's a triple threat.
Oh, that's such a great line.
Yeah. And then they quickly go to RF, and they're like, well, we've figured something out. And uh actually, Cosmo had a breakthrough right before they went to RF. It's like, wait, hold on, Kathy, you stand behind me and sing. And then Cosmo quickly does a little lip sync, and it looks like he is singing with Kathy's voice. Oh my God. We'll have Lena be dubbed by Kathy secretly, of course, because Lena would lose her damn mind because she's a very calm, reasonable person. And RF is like, "All right, boys, you got a deal, but what are we gonna call it?" And this is where Cosmo's star rises. It's like, Cosmo, remind me to give you a promotion. Like, hey, boss, give me a promotion. And there's just there's so much great like quick back and forth in this scene, double talk. Like Cosmo grabs the box of cigars off of RF's desk, and it's like, RF, you made a really good idea. Here, have a cigar. And then he quickly puts it back on his desk and uh just, great back and forth. And they figure the picture's new name will be the Dancing Cavalier. And
The
Cosmo
Dancing
is
Cavalier.
the Dancing Cavalier. Cosmo is quickly promoted to, I think, head of the music department, since it is a musical. And they quickly began work on that. Oh shit! Oh wow! I skipped over
We
Singing
skipped
in the
over
Rain.
the meta moment.
We skipped over Singing in the Rain. Um,
I mean
we,
to at this point it's a lot of the songs are pretty iconic and you kind of I don't know, you kind of forget that about the Singing in the Rain song, I guess, up until this point.
well, yeah, and they are back to back. And what I didn't know is, Singing in the Rain is uh had been around for a while and was already in two other movies, not as like the main song, but it is from oh shoot, I forgot who wrote it. Arthur Freed. um and yeah, it had been in other features and had been kind of a little different, and this is a little more up tempo, slightly different version. But yeah, it's something they had used before. And yeah, this number is just great. And apparently, while they were filming it, there was some issues with the water on the first day. And classically, Gene Kelly was sick with the flu while doing this and had a temperature, was running a fever of 103 ish, and did this. So he's in California inside on a hot day with the flu in cold, rainy weather inside. It's yeah,
Uh,
it's a weird, terrible combination. And I mean, you're doing a dance routine and singing, and it's they
And I mean, but you can't tell because this is, I mean, anybody who knows who Gene Kelly is knows that this performance is iconic. And you've got some just really, you've got the shot where he's standing on the lamppost, and I mean, it's called Singing in the Rain, but it's a friggin' monsoon in this
yeah.
scene. And that's what I thought about doing this, doing this podcast with you is we kind of look at behind the scenes, and I had to think of how awful that could have been because obviously you have to completely strip to do another wardrobe if you want to do another take of it, or
Oh yeah.
if you're doing it from the beginning because he is saturated.
Yeah, you have to probably like stop down, completely change. I mean, dry off the set. Well, kind of dry off the set because it starts out raining. And yeah, and but yeah, this is an amazing number, and it was filmed like over a day and a half. So yeah, lots and lots of work. Also, I think Good Morning, that was a 14-hour day, which Debbie
Wow.
Reynolds said, after she was done filming, she took off her blue shoes and her feet were covered in blood. Like, yeah, I mean, those
That's
guys,
movie magic, kids.
yeah, baby, she could barely walk. But their feet, the guy's feet weren't covered in blood because I mean they had done it for a long time, and they already had the blisters and calluses from
Uh,
dancing all the
are
time,
you not entertained?
right? Um, so yeah, the Singing in the Rain scene is great. And he hands off his umbrella, of course, because he doesn't need it because he's singing and dancing in the rain. Um, and yeah, this is then we get the brainstorming scene, but we've already covered that. So the new, oh god, this is another great scene while they're brainstorming it. It's like, well, but how will we cover, we need more scenes, we need more stuff. And it's like we want to get some of that modern dance in there. It's like, well, I got it. it'll be kind of like a Yankee in King Arthur's court. It's a dancer in New York, and he's backstage, and he gets hit on the head with a sandbag, and then we can use all the scenes that we have already shot, and then we can use the new modern dance stuff in the present day. And then Gene Kelly's like, oh, I've got it. It'll go something a little exactly like this scene. Which this is the Broadway melody, which this is a fever dream, like
Yeah,
50, 10-15 minute scene of uh the entire story of Gene Kelly's character, basically up till now. And then in a beautiful dance routine. And this was, I think, the whole crew stopped down. So they did like the whole main feature basically, and then they stopped down, did rehearsals for a month or so,
wow.
and then filmed this over a month. So it's like this was basically a second movie. So because Debbie Reynolds said, she's like, she was done with her principal photography, and then they did this, and she's like, I was on set for this, but I didn't have to do this stuff because this is,
And I
this
mean,
is the
there's
real dancers.
there's so many things in this going on because it basically summarizes, like the story that we were already told, like of the actor Don Lockwood and coming to wherever in the story. I don't know if it's supposed to be Hollywood, and there's like moving moving tracks that they're
Yeah.
on that he's walking, but it's the track is going the opposite way, so he's like walking in place, and other actors in the background are just kind of moving past, and it's and then there's the not the neon lights, but the old school signs that have the all the bulbs in it, and
Yes.
it it's super. The visuals are super cool, and it's super fun.
And it's, I mean, this is like every movie or cartoon who has like somebody who's down and out in the dregs and has, all those signs go past them. This is like what they are evoking pretty much. This is the glitz and glamour, and also the not so shiny sides of it. So we have a lady in green who is kind of representative of Lena, and that is played by her name is uh Sid Sid Sheris. She's a dancer, like amazing, prolific dancer. And yeah, she is the lady in green who kind of represents Lena, and also Don's aspirations, kind of also not being what he perceives them to be. It's like the idyllic thing he wants might not be exactly what he wants, and he is kind of after her, and she is with the villainous coin flipper with the scar. Which these guys are cool because, I mean, they're flipping a coin, they're just flipping it in the palm, but they're looking dead ahead, not looking at the coin at all. Which that's got to be such a pain in the ass. It's got to be such a pain in the ass because it's just adding a slight bit of randomness. You can be
Yeah.
incredibly talented, but that's fucking coin.
Wait, you want me to just toss this in my hand up? Yeah, it has to flip and you have to catch it.
Okay, that's the
Okay.
easiest thing. And then you're like, God damn
While
it,
looking straight ahead.
could I just do the dance number? Could I do the dance number instead? Why did I agree to coin flipper? Son of a bitch. Um, but they go through all this, and it kind of culminates into Gene Kelly. Don Lockwood is in a casino, and he's made it. He's climbed the ranks. He's become one of the prolific people, and he is in a casino, and he turns and he sees the woman in green, but now she is in a white dress, and then we get the flowing veil dance with the blue and pinkish landscape, and it's just this is like full on weird, dreamy, ethereal stuff, and this like 30-foot friggin' long veil, which the dancer she was talking about, it's like it looks, really beautiful and ethereal and easy to control. And it's like it wasn't. It's 30 feet of cloth being blown that you have to control with the music, and it's like it looks amazing and it does look effortless how it flows, but it's like holy shit, just
Yeah, I don't know what hell they went through to get this scene, but the final scene is amazing and how it flows up and how they intertwine it with the number that is she runs down the stairs and it kind of runs past his chest like it's hard to describe, but it's under his arms, but it runs across his chest, and she's running away, and it's pulling through, and then she runs up these stairs, and then as the uh, the veil leaves him, it flies straight up behind her in the air, and it's wow. It's
yeah.
and that's the thing that's super fun about this movie is how old it is. And I feel like we get spoiled with so much of the CGI and green screen, and you can do everything. This was a bunch of people figuring out how to choreograph with this veil piece of sheen fabric and make it do all the magical things is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, and the fact that they are doing long single takes is fucking crazy because uh I watched a interview of Gene Kelly, and it was just kind of like a career retrospective. They briefly covered Singing in the Rain, but he's just talking about another feature he did, and doing 26 takes just to get something. And it's like, and they showed the whole routine, and it's like a 3-minute routine. And so he did that 26 times because he was talking about how he did it, and at the end he does a slide, and it's like holy shit, you did that 26 times. And he's like, oh, it's tearing up my legs, and he's slamming down on the ground. It's like, okay. um but
Yeah,
yeah, they
just the tremendous physical shape that these people had to be in to make these movies and to do those dance routines and those numbers. And one of the things that I read said at one point in time, Gene Kelly used to smoke up to 4 packs of cigarettes a day to be able to. I don't know where that was at this point in his life when he was working on Singing in the Rain, but to be able to perform at that level and sing and dance and to do all that. And oh, yeah, he's probably living on 4 packs a day and whatever is provided through craft services. That's
yes.
amazing.
And yeah, those were those good cigarettes with extra tar. We've got extra tar in them. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend them, and the 10th doctor, he owns the company. uh but yeah, oh my god, 4 packs, holy crap.
And to
Yeah.
just and to have the voice that he did does is it, which is super smooth. And again, just his presence in this movie, I guess the how he carries himself, the looks that he gives, the performance, man, iconic.
Yep, it is amazing. uh and the the dance, it culminates with the veil lifting up into the air and the musical sting, and then it fades back to them in the casino, and he approaches her, and she looks at him, and she pulls out her coin, and she starts flipping it, and he realizes she's lost, and he kind of walks out into the night despondent. Then he hears something. gotta dance,
Yeah, that's been the
gotta
refrain.
dance.
That's been the refrain through the whole thing is that gotta dance theme. And it's super fun and it's super catchy. And this number, like you said, it's a total fever dream, but it's fun. And yeah, then he hears that, and then you come up to that. You see it zooms in on him and he's got that casino sign behind him and he's wearing his kind of, I don't know what kind of hat that would be, his whatever, his hat, and he's wearing his black tuxedo and it kind of zooms in. To me, that's like the hero shot. That's and some of the cinematography and camera work in this movie is just so great, and how they light him, and it's like he's looking right into your soul. And yeah, then he hears that gotta dance, and it's kind of like a caricature of him from the beginning. It's kind of like, he did all this, went all these things, went on this big pursuit, and he got somewhere, but maybe he needs to find what made him get involved with this in the beginning. And that's where that I guess different version of him comes in and singing gotta dance, and he's like, oh yeah, gotta dance.
Exactly. And the number kind of winds down, and Gene Kelly's like, and it'll be kind of just, it'll be like that. And perfect comedy timing. RF's like, I really can't see it. I can't picture it at all. But if you say so, you got a picture lock. Make it happen. And which is so great, the very Ocean's Elevening of it. And it's like the plan will go exactly like this. Nah, that doesn't seem like it'll be visual at all, buddy. That seems boring to me. um and they have figured out that they will have Kathy dub, and they managed to get the picture done. And blah, blah, blah. Let me see, read my notes. And Lena finds out about the dubbing, and she confronts, oh no, 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 no. Sorry, Don is at one of Kathy's records for Lena, and Lena shows up with Zelda, and she's like, "Oh, so it's her. Well, this won't stand." And then Lena goes to RF and says, "I've been to my lawyer, and in my contract," this is where Lena proves she's not a dummy, and she's actually the friggin' villain. She knows the exact article in her contract to pull up to say that, I think it's to do with, her performance being dubbed over, that, she will not be made a fool. So she's able to pull all the promotion that they had cooked up for Kathy, and they are going to have to take Kathy's title card down from the movie. And she's also managed to push her weight around enough to make RF have Kathy sign a 5-year contract where she will have to be her voice in song and word without credit, effectively ruining her career.
And I really like that moment in this movie because up until, I mean, pretty much through the whole movie, it's Lena's played as the villain in this, but and she's kind of painted as a dummy, but she kind of shows her what she's made of here, and she's like, okay, you want to play the game? I can play too. And yeah, she's still talking in her goofy voice that Gene Hagen has for the character in this movie. She still sounds like she's maybe not on the up and up with everything that's going on, but she's a lot sharper than any of them give her credit for, and she just kind of pulls it here.
Right? She knows exactly her career. That's what she knows. She knows her silent movie career and her contract. She doesn't know about the talkies and the singing, but she knows this, and she's fucking got you, RF. She's got you, and she's got Kathy too. And Don finds out about this, and he's like, "This is villainous and crazy. You're a demon. How could you do this?" And we are going to the premiere of The Dancing Cavalier now. This is all the talk. They have re rekajiggered their movie, and it's going to be a musical, and The Dancing Cavalier is going to be a hit. And we see the end of the movie again, and everybody loves the dang movie. They are tearing down the house. They're giving them a standing ovation, and Lena is completely villain pilled. She's ready to monologue, and she's ready to step out and have her moment. And RF is like, "What? You can't go out there, Lena." And Don thinks very quickly, and he's like, "No, no, 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 no. Lena's right. She should be able to talk. She should be able to meet her adoring crowd." And she goes out there and she talks, and I'm so glad you're here tonight to join us.
And the look of bewilderment falls across many faces in the crowd. Wait, what? That's that's her voice?
Yeah. Come on, Lena, sing. And we quickly backstage see a huddle between Don, Cosmo, and RF. And then Lena comes back. It's like, "Well, Kathy, you have to sing for her. Get behind that curtain and you sing, and you'll do the lip syncing. Like in the movie?" "Yeah, like in the movie, Lena." And Kathy is like, "Okay, wow, this is kind of fucked up. I'll do it, but I don't ever want to see you again, Don." They apparently they didn't include Kathy in the plan, which they could have done that real quick, so she wouldn't have been upset. But anyway, it's good for the story. Um, so Lena goes out on stage and she starts singing. Well, it's great. The band director's like, "What song will you be singing?" That's a great question." And she leans back to the curtain where Kathy's behind it, "Singing in the Rain." "Singing in the Rain." And the band director, perfect. "Singing in the Rain, gentlemen. And in what key?" And she leans back again, and A flat. "A flat. Perfect. Thank you, Miss Lamont." And they start singing, and it's going perfectly. She's lip syncing to Kathy. And then we cut to the backstage, and we see Don, Cosmo, and RF, and they're incredibly happy, and they're kind of dancing around, and they start circling around a rope, and they all start pulling the rope, and the curtain pulls, and the whole audience sees Kathy singing, and they start losing it. They're laughing at Lena because she's made a complete ass out of herself. And then Cosmo comes out and does a quick little "Singing in the rain, I'm singing in the rain." And Lena flees, and Kathy also runs off because she has been embarrassed. And Don is quickly like, "Stop that lady. She's the real star."
She's the
And
belle of the ball.
then we get I forget how quickly old movies end because they do the credits at the beginning. um Don quickly brings her on stage, and he's like, "I love you." And she's like, "I love you too." And they kiss, and the movie's over.
Yeah,
that's
the
that's
end.
just how movies did it. They did the credits before. But yeah, it's uh it's a great little ending. Any thoughts on this end end scene?
Um, yeah, it's hard because you watch the whole movie and like you said, then it just kind of ends and then they say they love each other and then you see they
Oh,
zoom
I
out, they're like at a billboard.
Yes.
or the movie that's Singing in the Rain, and it kind of has their um drawings of them, their characters for the movie, and they kiss, and the end. That's it.
Yeah,
It's yeah,
because
it's hard because so much of the movie came to a came to an apex with the premiere of their movie and everything, and it kind of it pays off, but it just I feel like it leaves you hanging. But hey, there it is.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a build up to a. It's like a. Oh my god, this is. It's gonna be. Oh, it's happy ending. Okay. Oh, it's just that's it. They're just happy. And in the movie world, they made Singing in the Rain. So in Singing in the Rain, there is Singing in the Rain, a Lockwood Selden picture, which I want to see that movie. I want to see Singing in the Rain in Singing in the Rain, and then Schenectady, New York style, just a Singing in the Rain play in the Singing in the Rain movie that's in the Singing in the Rain movie, and then a Singing in the Rain off Broadway production in the Singing in the Rain play, in the Singing in the Rain movie, in the Singing in the Rain movie,
It's
forever
just
and ever and ever.
it's just Inception.
Yeah,
It's the prequel to Inception.
yeah. I think Schenectady, New York was a Charlie Kaufman movie, which is just like they're making a movie and then they start making a movie about making the movie and then they just keep doing that and doing that until the studio for the production of it is like half of the United States because they are filming so many things. It's yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that is the end of Singing in the Rain. Obviously, of course, me talking about Singing in the Rain, I talked about the movie Schenectady, New York. Of course, that it just makes sense. Think about it. Um, but yeah, this is obviously a movie I like, and I assume my brother likes it. I'm not even gonna ask him. No, I'm just lying. Josh, you like this movie?
I absolutely love this movie. To me, yeah, I say it's timeless with a caveat. You know, it takes place during a certain time in history, but it's a movie that you can pick up and jump into. In 2025, I watched it. You know, whatever, probably 40-ish years ago, and I just recently watched it with my teenager, and she enjoyed it as well. And yeah, it's got appeal. It's got great characters, amazing music numbers, amazing dance choreography, and to me it's fun to see that snapshot of old Hollywood and what it was all about. It's such a fun movie, and it's pretty wholesome too. So, yeah, fantastic.
Heck yeah. Yes. Yeah, I watched this I think I watched this with my daughter when she was homesick on kind of a crummy day and it's like, "Hey, you know what is good for these kind of days? A movie that refuses to let you feel that way."
Yeah.
Uh and and she liked it and it's like, "God, good." I knew she would, but there's always a percentage chance and it's like, "Oh no." Um but yeah, I love this movie. It's not the easiest to find online, but also I'm one of those sick freaks who goes to the library and like will get a movie instead of getting a book because I'm demented, man. I don't know,
And
but
and this one has always, I mean, to me, it's a sentimental favorite because it has, you know, the connotations that I don't know if I actually watched it with our grandparents, but that's how I got access to it was from our grandparents and just kind of watched it. And you know, it's to me, it's timeless and it brings back good memories. And I've watched it through every stage of my life. I'm pretty sure I've owned this on about as many formats as I could get throughout my life. I had it on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and now I'm sure I have a digital copy floating around somewhere on something. But yeah, it's one that is still, you know, uh very forward, I guess, in my life. And like you said, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Just and it's really funny too. That's what I found myself watching it. I just found myself smiling a lot and a lot of the just so much of the dialogue in it and the comedic parts. Yeah, it just like you said, it just makes me feel really happy when I'm watching it.
Yeah, it's yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, I totally watched this with our grandparents. I'm pretty sure on a random day at the old Circle B back in the day. Um, and to kind of keep that theme going,
Oh
we are
yeah,
going.
I would
Oh,
so yeah, sorry, but
no worries.
back in the video store, it's we could put movies on, but the general rule was nothing worse than PG. And
Yeah, and
so that it really
like a
limited.
couple PG-13 movies
Yeah.
if Mark approved.
Yeah, and that got dicey because, PG-13 wasn't a thing until whenever point in time. So
What do you mean? What did the video store have a PG version of Jaws, which I brought up to him, and I'm like, hey, this is within the rules. He's like, Sean, please. I'm like, okay,
yeah. Yeah, there's
I won't push too hard on this, but I will watch it one day and I will stop it if anybody comes in, and I did, and it was fine.
but there's different ratings notwithstanding, there's different like the tone of the movie and everything. So that kind of limited what we could watch, but this was one that I would just pop in every so often because I'm pretty sure it's rated G. So yeah, it was always a good one to put on, and pretty much all the time someone would kind of stop what they were doing. They would be in the store browsing or whatever, and they would just kind of stop and look at the screen, and you could see the light come on, like, oh yeah, I remember this movie. And that was a really fun part of the being in the video store too. So yeah, like I said, pretty much every point in my life, this movie's been a part of it.
Heck yeah. And unlike you in the video store, I was running all the Planet of the Apes movies where people are like, "What the hell is this?" It's like it's Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. It's like, is Charlton Heston in this one? It's like, no, he dies in the second one, y'all. What? He dies in them? He's not in all of them. Anyway, you're not watching like enjoyable movies in here. They're enjoyable for me. Uh
Bro, I am working.
I gotta entertain myself. Um, but yeah, this movie is yeah, it is a classic that I've loved for a long time, and it is a musical, and spoilers, next month is May musicals.
Whoa.
We're covering all musicals, and I'm kicking it off with The Music Man. Yes, of course, it's The Music Man with the fast talking Robert Preston, Centauri himself from The Last Starfighter. Yes, baby. I am covering The Music Man. I love this movie. It is about a fast talking scam artist who comes to a town to, well, scam people out of their money. It's it's that simple. But yeah, that will be our episode next week. But yeah, that is the end of this episode. Josh, thank you for joining me this week. It was a great pleasure to have you here and to see you and not be seen because my webcam is totally, well, it's a webcam from the 90s. So hey, spoilers, we didn't have web cameras. What are you talking about? Get real. That's why I don't have one. That's it. It's not because mine's broken. Anyway, I'm rambling. Josh, like I said, a pleasure to have you on the show.
Great to be
Um,
here.
yeah, thank you very much. And I'm like always, I'm gonna do the most normal thing ever and just walk through the time portal to end the episode because that's how shows end. Okay, bye.
Bye.